Okay, so the full rebuild kit is here. Since I already did these, I probably won't be replacing because the ones that are in there are new and I don't think they're the problem. But we are going to replace everything else from the needles to the jets. Let's see, does this say what size it is? No, these do not. I think these are whatever stock is because these are OEM. And then all the screws and everything because, well, it wouldn't hurt. But we're having issues, so. And then we're gonna spray out the carbs too and everything again. I think the main seals are fine because I just replaced them. They're obviously not worn, but we'll see where all these go and all the O-rings and stuff. I know some of them are for the fuel screw. I'll go ahead and replace that even though I already did. Because I don't know, maybe there's something with the other one that's not right. Who knows? But so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so here's where we're at. We went from having worn out floats, basically these parts right here, and where to go? The little needles that sit down inside them. To, well, I didn't get my seals seated properly, so it was leaking even worse. We got that fixed, so now we're not leaking. And originally it would only start with the choke and using throttle. As soon as you let go, it would not idle. Plus it was leaking. So we got rid of the leak, and now it'll idle with the choke, but you cannot use the throttle or it kills it, which sounds like a clog. That's the best I can think of, you know, because I've adjusted the fuel screws to spec of, you know, what would be stock, and it should run, you know, if that was the issue. Even if it wasn't running at its peak performance, it should have still ran. So that was not the issue. The issue is with the jets. There's got to be a clog somewhere. Even though I sprayed them out and they seemed like they weren't clogged, something, it's the way it's acting, is that it's clogged. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and replace all these little jets. We're gonna replace all the screws, just because it's always good to have fresh screws so you're not like stripping stuff. And we'll go from there. And hopefully we'll have an idle without a choke and a bike that can throttle and be driven. And if not, then I'm going to hold up my white flag and this new baby is going to go to a shop because this is my last ditch resort. This whole pack rebuild kit for all 4 carbs was about 120 bucks on Amazon. Made sure it's the correct OEM parts, and you can see right there. And so we're gonna try this. Okay, we got our egg tray, we got our carbs, got our cleaner, our tools, and we got our parts. So let's do this. Alright, so I'm gonna start on this side because, well, when we did our partial kit, I already replaced these, but I'm gonna show you where they go and how they go. And there's jets in there and everything else that we need to replace. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the screws off and we're gonna find the matching screws and line them up so we know what goes to where. Okay. believe it was this one. Yep. Alright. We'll start with this side. And I'm outside, so if you hear kids or dogs or buses or, you know, whatever, just ignore it. Speaking of bus. Alright, so we're going to take these old ones. We got replacement screws because we got the full kit. So I'm going to line this up like this. That way I know which goes to what. So this is this carb, so I'm going to use these 4 up here. Pause this for a second. Okay, it's going away. So, alright. So now, I'm going to take this and find the matching screw in our kit, and I'm going to set them, so let's put these there. I'm going to set them there so that I know they're the new ones. Like these are going to be it. 1, 2, 3. Those are the new ones. Alright, let's take our cover off. And here, this is what you've got. It's probably like an air screw. No, I do have both. I have both the air screw and the fuel. Alright, so this also helps them be in sync, so you're going to have to sync it after you put this all back, you know, together. So I'm going to go ahead and... This one's too small. This is a bigger one. Okay. And we're going to find a matching screw for this. Do you have any that matches? You should. These are the jets. It's supposed to be a complete kit. Oh, I wonder if these are it. No. Okay, so these, it looks like, so much for having the full kit. Yeah. Okay. Am I just not seeing it? Alright, so we're gonna have to just clean this then. Clean it up good. And put there for now. And then I'm gonna take this and just spray. Just make sure there's no blockage. I'm just gonna clean this up really good. And I'm just using brake cleaner because it will not interfere with the fuel or how it runs, because it's flammable too. Well, this is non-flammable, but make sure we don't have anything. And it looks like I lost my seal, so it's good we got new seals. Oh, I didn't lose it. It's right here. I cleaned off all the goop that held it in place. So we need to make sure to re-goop these so that it won't shift when I put it back together. Okay. Now, down here, is where these pieces are for your float. I had already replaced these because I was leaking and had a high, you had to throttle it, you couldn't idle. So that's already been replaced. It looks like we're still good there. But I'm going to show you really quick. You're going to have to take this pin out, and you're going to have to take this side off to be able to get the pin out. And then what you'll do is you'll pull that out. And then you're going to take, you put them together. Now in some kits, this is all bent up. In some kits, this O-ring you have to actually put on yourself, but this fits down in there, and then that goes in there, and then the float goes under it right there. And you can adjust these to get the right height. So we're going to put that back because I don't need them because I already have brand new ones in there. So we got all of our little jets here. This right here is a fuel screw. And I know this because it actually has the pointy end on it, which is why I'm thinking this is probably an air screw, even though it's not supposed to have both. But this, okay, you're gonna turn to seat, which I have a replacement for this, so you know what, let me go ahead and pull that out and we'll go from there. You can use a straight edge or a Phillips to pull this one out. Now with your basic rebuild kit, which my initial small kit did come with these, you got a little O-ring there, but behind the O-ring is a metal O-ring. So you put the metal on first, then you're going to put your rubber one on. I'm going to go ahead and put this up there because I do have a replacement for it. Even though I already replaced the O-rings and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and replace the entire pin. You have to be careful with these because the needle point can break. So, and in fact, this kit came with a cap over it so that it wouldn't break in transport. So our O-rings are in this one, so you're going to take your the metal ones. I saw them in something. Here they are. Here's your little metal ones. You put that on first, and then you're going to put your rubber O-ring. Okay, so you're going to take your little cap off here if it came with one. You see that little point on it? Let's see. You're going to first, you're going to take your, oh, you need your spring. My bad. You need your spring. And then you put your metal O-ring, because that's going to touch the spring. And you're going to put your rubber O-ring carefully. My only concern is this one is shorter than this one. Okay, let's look at the screw though. No, it's the same. It's just this one has the extension on the screw. Okay, So that's good to compare, you know, that way you know you got the right. You know what? I think that might be the wrong O-ring. It's kind of thick. Let me look at the O-rings. So always compare what you take off, because if I hadn't caught that, I would have ended up with the wrong rings and probably still had issues. So, let me pull this off. Stick it back in there. And there you go. It looks more matching. Yeah. Okay. So this is the old, so I'm going to put it in the old pile. And then, now, you want to be careful. You're going to seat this in. Now what that means is you're not going to tighten it hard, because you can break that needle. So you just want to turn until it stops, which means it's seated. Okay. And since I don't have that extension on there, it's going deep inside. Okay, it stopped. Alright, once it's seated, the specs are 2 to 3 full turns back the other way to loosen it, basically. And this allows the amount of fuel to enter. And this is something that you can adjust based on the performance of your bike, whether you need more or less fuel. Now, it also is based off of the jets that you're using, because different size jets allow a different amount of fuel, and if you go to a bigger jet, it's going to be less turns. Since, oh, it does have a number. Okay, we say, let's see, this is 15. This says 22.5. 15, that's it. Okay. So it's very possible now that I could actually need more than 3 turns, because this is only dumping 15. We'll see what size jet. Okay, so let's do the jet first and see what this is versus what that is, and then I'll tell you how to adjust from there. So, I think it's this one. I don't think that one came with it. This was supposed to be a full kit, but finding out that it just may not be. Alright, so let's start with this one. That might be why it's only a 15. Just gently pull it out, unscrew it. Okay. Let's see. Yep, it's a 15. So, let me find out what that is. And this I'm just going to have to clean out really good again, because I don't see a replacement for that. But we're going to spray down there, because you want to make sure you have no blockage. Ended up spraying myself. And we'll see what's going on the other side too. That's really good. Alright. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take our new one, and you're just going to seat it. You don't want to go crazy. Same thing, just go until it stops. So, put that in. Okay, so there we are. It stopped. Alright, so I'm going to pull this so I can see what size it is, so I know how many turns and I can do this right. Maybe. You know what? I think that one uses a socket, so let me get my socket. Okay. So we got our socket. Okay. I'm going to pull this out. Now, I already had cleaned this real good. Oh, okay. It's got the needle. Alright, so that's something I think we have to place from the other side. You're going to take this. That explains why there wasn't a... Oh, okay. I'm tracking now. Alright, I forgot about this. Alright, so this part, clean it out real good. You're going to keep that, and you're going to replace the screw on top, which is this one right here. You're going to put this on the top of it. Spray this out real good in here. And get that needle from the other side, because it doesn't just pull out, so I think it's on the other side. So you're just going to seat it, just like everything else, and then screw it back in. You don't want to go too tight. Just go until it's tight. Okay. Alright. I think that comes out. I'm going to spray that. Alright. So this side should be good now. And I don't see anything else that can come out that I haven't already, other than the float that we've already done. Oh, okay. If that's 15, I really think these need to be turned more, because it's not getting enough fuel. Because, okay, so what I read and watched is that your fuel thing should be 2 to 3 turns, but they were basing that off of like a, 27 to 35 jet, and this is 15. So I'm thinking, okay, what was it? For every turn, how did it go? You're gonna need to look up the specs. Don't take my word for this, but I'm going to give it 5 turns, because 3 was not working. It was not getting enough fuel. So I'm gonna give it 5 turns counterclockwise, loosening it back up from a seat. So I'm gonna use this side. to where I can, because there's paint on it, and I can know a full turn. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me look down in here and see where the pin is. Yeah, I think that's right, because you can still see the pin, so it's not backed out too far. I wonder if maybe I should even do a 6. We'll start with 5. We'll do 5 and see how that works. Alright, so let's get our... You want to get your goop back on here just to keep it from moving while you're putting this on. I don't have any with me. It's in Wonder Bread's truck because we thought we were done with it. So I'm gonna utilize what is already still on it. Pray that works and doesn't move. If it would stop sticking to my finger, we might have some progress. Okay, and then we're going to use our new screws. And then you're just gonna do each one like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over to the other side so we can see how many needles we like, how to put that needle in and stuff. Here it is. Secure this. Now these you want to get tight so that you don't have any leakage. But what I do is I go ahead and seat them, and then once all 3 are seated, then I go back and tighten. And only just enough to where, because this is aluminum, so you can strip it out. You don't want to tighten it too much. And I'll show you in just a second here after I get the 3rd one in. Okay, so you're going to take this and then just go until it bends. Once it starts bending, that's good enough, because you don't want to strip out your aluminum. Alright, and there you have it. So we're going to flip this over. Alright, so we got these screws here. Let me see. But you have to take apart to do those, and there's a little seal in there that it didn't give me a replacement, so I'm not going to mess with those. So these screws are not going to be used, because it didn't come with the replacement seal for around these parts. So I'm not going to mess with something I don't have a replacement for. And then also these are what holds the thing for the float down. So that's already been replaced. Alright. So I need to find where these go. And then we got some other little rubber seals in here. We need to figure out where they go. Alright. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna have to open up this end. Oh, I was right the first time. I'm just gonna do this one, and then you're just gonna repeat those steps on each one. But this is the only one I'm gonna do on camera. Oh, you forgot. I gotta put that back in too. Y'all make sure I don't forget shit. Alright. I think that's what those screws are for. If I can get it. Holy cow, it's even tight. Okay, that one turned. This is probably where the diaphragm, yeah. Diaphragm and spring are. Okay. Alright. Yep. So that's what these screws are for. Replacements for. So we'll put the old one back here. And put the new. Alright, so you got your spring. Now your diaphragm. You do not want this to dry out. Oh, look, there's that other O-ring right there. Alright. So let's loop-de that. Put it with the old. And then go ahead and get the let's go ahead and get the diaphragm out. You do not want to puncture this. Okay, and there's your needle. Okay. And we're going to replace that needle right there. That's what I was looking for, that needle. It looks like they're just curved. Okay. So, to unseat the needle, you're just going to bring in there too. This one's a little bit different than the last one I did, so let me see how we do this. Something with that in there. Alright, give me a minute to figure this out so I can advise you properly. Okay, so all I did was take a pair of pliers and pull it out. Okay, so you got a seal here too that you're gonna have to replace an O-ring. Okay, so I'm gonna set that here. Be careful not to lose your spring. And then the needle should just, yep, pop right up. Alright, I'm going to spray this down real quick. Doesn't look like there's any cracks or too much wear and tear or anything on it, so we're going to set that there. Alright, now on your needle, you got this little thing, which I do not see a replacement for. I think that's just where the spring and thing got. Got some. Oh, let me see. Is that what these are for? Looks like it. Okay. It's different from that one, so we gotta keep this one. these are the ones, I think they're called cotter pins. These are the ones that are, they're not cotter pins. I forget what they are, but they snap in place. So these, that's what these are for. You put one on the top. Where's my pointy? Oh, it's under there. Okay. My pointy. Alright, keep this other ring. And then we're just going to take this cutter, or whatever the heck kind of snap ring it is, and pull it off. We have a replacement for that. I think they give replacements for this because you got to stretch them to pull them off, and then it's not going to be can't even get it. There we go. Make sure you have a pointy. It'll come in handy. Alright, so I don't need that piece, but I do need this piece. I'm just going to spin it. Spin. And then I'm going to put the needle, because I have a replacement needle. And we're going to put this back in its place. And we're going to get our cotter. I keep calling it a cotter pin. I know it's not a cotter pin. A cotter pin are the other ones. Just going to dump this in here so I can get to them easier. Okay. So there's a little groove in the needle. That's where this one goes. If you don't drop it and lose it, like I just did. Tiny parts. Found it. Okay. Push it on there until it goes. Oh, I just bent that one. That's not good. Don't do that. It's just to hold the piece in place. Get it off. Did they give me extra? Alright. So, I'm gonna have to grab the old one. These are not easy to get on, so be careful. Don't do what I just did and end up bending it. So I'm gonna have to use the old one on that one. And pray that I don't screw up the whole process by doing this. Okay. There we go. There we go. Alright. So now I'm going to take my little O-rings that I put in here. One goes on top. One goes on bottom. I'm going to hold this while I spray it. Just dribble. You don't want to spray too hard where it sprays stuff off. I'm going to take my diaphragm thingy and put that back in place. I'm going to take our spring thingy and put it back in place. You're just gonna go straight down with it. It's not wanting to cooperate. All right. Pull this up. Okay, it doesn't actually hold it, it just goes down into it. Okay. And spot, and then the spring allows it to move up and down. So you want to make sure that the spring is seated on and then push down into place, just like that. Boom. Spray this again because we're getting dry. And then we're gonna get this back in and close it back up. See anything else? I don't see anything else that needs to be replaced. Let me spray this out real quick. This is actually really, really clean. Like, the fact that I'm having to rebuild this is beyond me. Okay. Alright. Put it down carefully, and then we need to get our O-ring. Remember, there was an O-ring there. Okay. And I am not seeing where those go. So there was another. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. Back up. Back up one. There was an O-ring on this piece. Y'all are supposed to remind me of these things. Alright. Let's pull you back out. Remember that O-ring? Yeah, that's the one I forgot to replace. Alright. So, take this. Got my O-ring here because I can't get to them when I need them. Okay, I need the seals in there. Okay, so it would be looks like this one, this larger one. Yeah. So you take your pointy. Get the old one off. Do not use your pointy to put the new one on. Spray it so that it's slick and we can slide it down. Uh-oh, my spring bounced. Do not lose your spring. That could be very bad. It bounced too. Where'd it go? Should be right there. Ah, there it is. Okay. Spring back on. Now put it back in place. Getting ahead of myself here. Make sure it's seated on the needle so it can do its job. And then pop into place. And then spray. Let it dry out. And pop it in place. Do not force it, it should just fall in. It should. There you go. Okay. Then we need our O-ring for up here. A little thick one. Boom. And we need our spring. And our cover. Boom. And then our new screw. Alright, here's this one. Make sure you do the right one, because remember the chrome pieces that go across here, so make sure you do the right one. Bada bing, bada boom. And there you have it. It's everything that came with my kit, except for what I already did with my other kit. With those screws. Well, and then, wait, this is different. This might be to something I haven't found yet. These screws go to here, which I'm not going to mess with that because this I can already see has a seal and I do not have a replacement seal. So it's very possible. This is the other thing. I think this is supposed to be like, I don't know. I did not come across these either. So that's all I can show you because I'm betting the rest goes in here, but I do not have that seal. So again, I'm not gonna crack it open. Yeah, no, shutter splaining. There's a reason my channel is called Shutter Splaining. Alright, so that's one down. Do this one here. Alright. So you're just going to repeat those steps on each one. And then you're ready to reinstall and pray. Let me remind you, because I almost forgot. You're going to want to put your sinking air. Alright. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess here, because, and I should have done this to begin with. So I'm going to use one of the other ones and see how many revolutions it takes to get it seated, so that I know how many turns to put it. And you still will want to hook up your sinking tool and everything and make sure it's synced and when it's running, but that'll at least give me a good starting point. So I'm going to use this as a, if you have a way to mark it so you know. Actually, since I'm going to have to remove it to turn it, I'm going to mark the screw itself. That way I know how many revolutions. So when that reaches that, oops, wrong way. It's You won't even go in any further, I don't think. There's one, and it's completely tight on there. So let me see. Tight. Alright, so we're going to mark this. This worked better at marking. Alright, there we go. I don't think that's right, because that's loose. I think where it was. Yeah. I think that's going to be it right there. Yeah, I can see it through there too. Let me turn this back. I think once I broke them free, it's not the same. I mean, these are tight, but they're up further, and these were until I broke it free. So, but these are what you're going to use for sinking, and you're going to have to sink anyway, so I would just leave them be. I only pulled that one to see if there was, because I didn't know what it was.